Hey Claire, Jessica Peterson here. Earlier today I spoke with Sage and he accepted this video on your behalf and thought you would be the best one to watch it. So I'm super excited that he accepted this video for you because today I'm going to walk over 3 strategies you guys can start applying today, and it's going to make a huge difference to your business. Right now you have 0 traffic coming to this website, which means you're losing 60 to 70% of the available jobs every single month by not having these strategies in place. And I know these strategies work, and they work amazingly because we've applied them with over 50 other restoration companies just like you guys throughout the US and have had amazing results. Okay, so today we're going to talk about 3 main strategies: a content keyword strategies, citations, and then backlinks. Okay, so here we are on your website. So we do have a website. It is very basic, bare bones. It is a single page website, and unfortunately that's not going to help you. You actually have to have a separate page for all the services that you offer. Google requires a separate page so that you can be focusing on those services. So a separate mold page, a separate water damage page, a fire page, so that the entire page is devoted around one service. It talks about what it is, what causes it, your processes, answers most common questions, etc. It needs to be helpful and useful to your customers. It needs to be focused around your local buyer intent keywords. People will not be searching your brand 99% of the time because they don't know who you are yet. Okay, most of these people have never experienced this loss before. So they're searching for the service that they need. They're not searching your brand. So while your brand is important, it's more important to be focused on what your customers are actually searching. Okay, so it looks like you guys are based in Missoula, so your homepage and all your service pages need to be those Missoula keywords. So that's Missoula mold removal, water damage restoration Missoula, Missoula water damage, etc. People search differently. You need to capture that. So you need those separate service pages to have that. And if you're servicing multiple different areas and cities, you need different pages for those areas for each service as well, so that you can be found in every area that you service for all these important critical services. Okay, now this homepage here is the most important page of your entire website. When it comes to ranking on Google, there's a couple things. They are mobile first, which means your website needs to be mobile first friendly. So you have to have a super easy navigation to use on a mobile device. You need to click to call, phone numbers, and easy forms. Okay, but for the rest of it, when it comes to ranking, it's all based on content. So you need a ton of content throughout your entire website. Your homepage, being the most important page, has to have a summary of each of these services, similar to what you do have, but more detail. It needs to be around those local keywords. And every image on your website also needs to be optimized. So it should be saved with, see, these are just a bunch of numbers, okay? Every image needs to be saved with those local keywords. And so content on your homepage, it can be videos, it can be images, but the bulk of it has got to be this written content. You need a lot of it. You need at least 1,500 words on this page. This homepage is so important because it ties the rest of your entire website together. It helps Google understand what everything's about. It like ties a pretty little bow for Google to help them understand. Okay, so it's very critical. Now you need 1,500 words or more. If your competitors have 1,500 words, you're going to have more. So you'll need 1,800 or 2,000 words on this page. But you don't want just any content. Again, make sure that it's useful content about your services focused on those local buyer intent keywords. Google is sending a crawler to your website to index you for keywords, to understand what you're about, and that crawler is like little mini robots. And it goes through every single video, every image, every single page, all of this content to understand what the business is about, what type of services you offer, and where you offer those services. But if Google doesn't understand, the algorithm doesn't understand, then how can we possibly expect Google to send people to your website, right? Okay, so in order to do that, we have to have the right content. Now, if we look at your top competitor for water damage in Missoula, we do have ServPro. And yes, they are a franchise, but also they are beatable. You're not competing against an entire franchise, just the local franchisees, which only can serve a handful of zip codes, okay? And they all get these kind of generic pages that they're not allowed to really modify and do anything that's actually going to be beneficial for them, unfortunately. So you guys have an upper hand. You have an advantage. You only have to do better than they're doing. So having more content, you can see that this one page has quite a bit more content than you guys. So you have to have more, have better quality content and more content, okay? Dial in that keyword strategy, have more pages and more of those long form blogs. Every blog article you do every blog article that you do every month adds new fresh content to your website, which Google loves, and it gives you more opportunity for more keywords, okay? So content is super critical for you guys. Now we know when people do a search on Google, they do a search similar to this. And when they do, we want your website to be what pops up, right? And when you go to the first page of Google, there's typically 3 different main sections. The first section could be your cost per click ads and these local service ads like these. And this can be extremely profitable if this is something you want to do, but you do have to have all your processes dialed in and your foundation set up. If those aren't done, you're going to run into issues. You're not going to have a great return on investment, okay? Now, these other 2 sections here, they get the bulk of the traffic when people are doing a search. So this second section here, this is your Google business profile, your Google map pack, okay? You want your business listed in this top 3 section for all the services you offer. Because 30% of people come straight to the maps and they don't go anywhere else. So if you're not one of these top 3 companies, you're not getting called. Okay, you're losing 30% of that revenue every single month and quite literally handing those jobs to your competitors. Now, I know that's not what you want. So in order to capture that, get in this spot, you need to optimize that profile and go out and get a bunch of citations. And citations is simply listing the name of the business, the address, phone number, and website, and listing those in a bunch of directories. And directories are things like the Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, Yelp, Angie's, House. All of those are great citations. So you need a lot of those citations. You need more than your competition. And then every single one of those new citations gives additional information to Google about your business and what you offer and where. So they are important for your business to have. And then this third section here is the most important section. And that's because this section here is the organic section where 60 to 70% of people come. 60 to 70% of all people searching here will skip the ads and they'll skip these maps over here and they come here. So your website needs to show up right here. And when it doesn't, that means you're losing 60 to 70% of the jobs available every single month. So in order for your website to be here, it all comes back to the foundation here. Having your website built out the right way with the right content and keyword strategy, and then support that with a backlink SEO strategy. So if we look here, this brings us to backlinks. This is Ahrefs, a paid tool that I use to analyze a website's performance. We can see here we have a 301 redirect error with your website, so I'm not sure what happened there. You have a rating of a 0 out of 100 in Google's trust flow, so Google does not trust your website, and that is partly because your website doesn't have any content, but more so it's because of the power you're sending to the website. And like every tool that we use, your website is a tool that needs power. And we power websites with backlinks. So while we do need a lot of backlinks, we need more backlinks than our competition, not all backlinks are good. They're not created equal. This is a popularity contest. And while you could try and target large companies and brands like Pizza Hut and Burger King, you don't serve food. And so even if you got those links, they wouldn't help you. They'd hurt you. We want to get good quality do follow links that are closely related to the services that you offer. So that's going to be coming from websites of other home service types of businesses like landscapers and roofers and plumbers. It could be vendors and magazines that are related, but all of those types of links are good links, and that helps increase this score. Google trusts your website more. It pushes your website up and helps it to rank. And when you have that content strategy, you'll get indexed for keywords and you'll be able to rank those. Right now, you don't have any real content, so you have 0 keywords and you're getting 0 traffic. So you're literally missing out on all of your online opportunity not having these strategies in place, okay? And if we look at your competitor here, this local area, they have a low score, which makes sense because they can't really do anything to fix it. So there's no point in them doing the SEO. But they are getting 3 people to their website. Not a big deal. However, because the website power is so high, it is allowing them to sit at the top here. It just means that most of these local companies here aren't doing what needs to be done. They don't have the proper SEO. And so just having a high ranking website for their main site is enough to push them up. So these guys are definitely beatable. And if you work these strategies, you guys have a huge ability to be able to dominate in your area. So please feel free to take this information, run with it, apply it yourself, start today, start driving that traffic and helping more people in your community. But if you'd rather focus on what you do best and have a partner in growth at Peterson SEO, this is our specialty, and we specialize in working with restoration companies just like you guys. So please feel free to reach out and ask any questions. You can respond back to my email. You can give us a call or text us at this number, and we would be happy to chat. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.